Okay, buenos dias. So let's go ahead. We're going to begin at the top of your mat. So whatever you decide what you want the top of your mat to be, just with a lot of mat behind you. You'll do a few little things to warm up. First thing, just bring your weight into your feet. What I mean is sometimes we let our weight hang back either forward or to the side, and it can be held through the pelvis, if that makes sense. So what I want you to do is pull the tailbone down and pull the fronts of the thighs up and feel the weight move into the ground. Good. So now just hold your feet there, stretch your arms up for a moment, and then exhale, bring it back. So just feel your weight can stay steady. I even feel my glutes engage right when my arms come all the way up. Good. Let's try that one more time. So you're going to really feel the tailbone stay anchored as the arms come up, and then sweep the arms to the side and up. So just saying hello to your arms here for a moment. Good. Arms coming up, arms floating out to the side, feeling your legs like two pillars that are holding up your torso. Good. And then let's inhale, pause with your arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, move your weight back, and then exhale, float to standing. So arms up, thighs back, exhale, lift. Couple more times, arms up, thighs back, exhale, lift. Noticing your spine, your columna is going to stay long the whole time, two knees parallel. Good. All right, so now pause for a moment. Arms up, now lift your heels. This is just to wake up a little bit of balance this morning. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, talones arriba. That's lifting your heels. One more time. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, lift your heels. Good. So now we're going to inhale, keep your heels down and anchored. Reach your spine all the way up, so you're just getting a little micro back bend here. Good. Feeling your abdominal wall stretch. And then exhale, hands to your low back. Move your spine forward. From here, lightly bend your knees. Take 5 and 4. So again, spine stays long. 2 and 1. Good. Exhale, hands to the thighs. Stretch a little arch in the back. And then we'll round over. Space between the shoulder blades. Let the neck go. Inhale, big stretch up, estirando arriba. Exhale, taking that down, abajo otra vez. And then one more time, inhale, stretching all the way up. This time, walk your fingertips down to your shin bones. And I want you to move the shin bones up and stretch your back. Come all the way forward as much as feels good, feels safe to you. We're going to inhale, look up once again. Now place your fingertips underneath your shoulders. Now step back with one leg, step back with the other leg. Good. And then lengthen out your spine here. Take a couple breaths in a plank pose, reaching the heels. Good. And feel that same energy. Tailbone reaches towards the heels. Top of the head reaches up and out, just like we did in that Tadasana. So now reach your hips first back and then up. So you're taking a big breath here. So now I'm going to begin by lifting my right leg up, trying to keep my hips balanced as I lift. Bend the knee. And then pull my belly in as I stretch and take. I'm going to take my right foot back behind my hand. Now, if I can't get all the way there, I'm just going to walk my foot a little bit closer. So then the next thing I'm going to do is turn my toes slightly out, plant the back heel. And then let's exhale. Let's all slowly, slowly, slowly come up that leg and try a deep warrior 1 here, just with like 5 breaths. So your chest is going to open. Good. And then let's exhale. Go ahead, take your hands down the leg, slowly, 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 reaching towards the floor. Your 2 hands here. Come on either side of your front foot. Now exhale, reach the weight back. Now the left leg, let it lift. Good. And again, this can be small and slow. Now bend the knee, keep sending that weight back. Now scoop the belly as you bring the foot back behind the hand. Now if you get to where it's not coming in close enough, just walk your foot. Once you feel like it's the heel is at least, beneath your knee, then plant the back heel behind you and exhale, push right here through this heel to lift all the way up. Good. Give yourself another little warrior one. So the front knee bends, the back knee straightens, the thigh bone pulls up. Take a few big breaths. Good. And then we'll exhale. So when you come forward, stretch, reach, slowly, slowly, slowly. Find that place where you start to lose control of your weight. And then try to, again, slow it down. Exhale. Now you're going to step your front foot back. Take your hips up into a down dog. And now take a breath. Keep your hips lifted and lower your knees. And now take your hips forward so that you feel your head again over beyond your tailbone. Pull your elbows to your sides, opening your chest more deeply. Inhale up, keeping the knees down for now. And then exhale, lift the hips, lift the tailbone. Slowly push all of that weight back. And now take another breath. Step one leg in. So it comes behind the hand, step the other leg in, behind the hand, lift so that you can put your hands back on your thighs, and exhale, find yourself, or those are shins, all the way back up, levantado. Good. Let's try a version of that again. So we're gonna inhale, take the arms up, and then exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, take your hands to the thighs, a stretch up, and then around, and then a lengthen back up. Let the hands reach to your shin bones. Exhale, move the thighs up. Take a breath. Melt over your two legs. Good. Letting the head go completely. And now allowing your fingertips to come under your shoulders. Inhale, look up nice and slow, steady, easy. Exhale, bend the knees, this time stepping back with the other leg first. I'm going with my right. And now with the left. Good. So this time I'm going to lower the knees straight down. Let my elbows pull in. And then inhale, create a little arch in my back as I lift. So let your arms wake up with your knees down. And then exhale, lift, 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 and reach your weight all the way back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. So now my right leg comes up. I'm going to bend the knee and exhale. Slowly, slowly place the hand as much as I can behind my foot, or just make sure that my heel is beneath my knee. Now the back toes turn out a little bit and the heel plants. And now again, remember you want to have this really good solid line from knee to heel as you lift. Inhale, straighten your two knees. Exhale, with your two straight knees, come over the leg and let the hands rest for a moment on your ankle. And exhale, try to lengthen your back and then fold over the leg as much as you can, letting your head relax so the neck stretches. Good. Then we're going to inhale, look up once again, and then let your back hand, so I'm going to let my hand further from the computer screen, reach away. And then here, I'm just going to discover a little Parivrtta Trikonasana. That's a revolved triangle pose. Doesn't matter how hard or how high that arm comes up. What matters is how you're treating your shoulder. So make that a good line. Feels good. Exhale, one hand down, opposite hand down. Now the foot, step it back. Good. Now the knees, lower them in, reach your weight all the way back, just stretching your back for a moment. Take a breath. Exhale, move your hips forward. Let the elbows come into your sides. Now feel your scapula move up vertically into a little back bend. And then exhale, lift your hips all the way up. Taking another big breath, reaching through the hands. Lift your left leg. Good. Bend the left knee. Lift it a little higher. Scoop the belly in. Place the foot behind the hand. Shoot that foot a little bit if you need to. Get the heel right under the knee. Turn the back toes out. Push, push, push through that foot. As you bring yourself up, now the knee lengthens. And now the body folds nice and slow, slowly over that leg. The hands can come rest on the ankle or anywhere on the leg that is helpful to you. First, just lengthen the spine. And then exhale, full letting the top of the head melt down. Good. So now the arm closest to the computer screen is going to reach up and you're going to pull this hip, the front leg hip, back as you create a little Parivrita Trikonasana twist. Give this a few breaths. 2, 3 más respiraciones. Estirando arriba, arriba. Good. So now exhale, releasing that hand. Opposite hand comes to the floor. Take your time. Move with precision. Step the front foot back. Good. Now lower the knees. Lengthen the back. Reach your hips all the way back. Take a breath. Move the hips forward. Adelante. Good. Elbows into your sides. Now the sternum lifts up. This is good work for your back here. And then exhale. Lift the hips. Reach the weight. Big stretch. Head comes down. And then from here, you're going to take a moment, soften the knees. Step one foot through, step the other foot through, just back behind the hands. Get your weight in your feet. And we'll inhale, look all the way up. Now take the hands to the shins. And then exhale, sweep. Bring yourself back up and into a standing position. Beautiful. So we may come work on that in a minute, but just now take a step towards the center of your mat. And bring your feet all the way underneath you. Take a second, circle your wrists. That's a lot of work for the wrists. Good, and circle them the other way. Good, now take the arms up, circling the wrists, circling the other way. Hands here to your hips for a moment. So then I'm going to turn my left toes up. Maybe you go with your right toes. Lift this foot up and then place the ankle on the thigh. Give this 5 breaths. Without doing anything else, just try to center your weight there in your right leg. Feeling the hips, the tailbone, anchored, lowered, 2 and 1. Now extend the leg, reach it right back out. Let's try it on the other side. So now I'm gonna lift my heel, turn, open while keeping the hips steady, lift the leg up, ankle to the thigh, breathe. Good. Exhale, extend, and now release. Inhale, sweep, take the arms up for just a moment. Find a little flat back. Hands here to your back. Take a little forward bend. Now in your forward bend, hold here, and I want you to pick up that first leg once again. Hold it lifted for 5 breaths. Exhale, set it down and come right back up. Inhale, a big stretch up. Exhale, discovering once again, flat back, coming over, taking a forward bend as much as you like. And now lift the opposite foot, 5 breaths. Exhale, setting it back down and lifting right back up into a standing position. So now we're going to go back to that same foot, lift it up, first foot, open the knee, foot to the thigh. Exhale, move some weight back and breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Standing tall, extending the leg, releasing, and then just take a second, getting the weight out of your feet. We'll try that on the other side. So now I'm going to pick up, opposite leg, externally rotate, foot to the thigh, feel my balance there, then move my thighs back. 5, 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Exhale, release. Taking that foot, stretching it forward. So now let's step your 2 feet wide for a moment. This is my right leg. You maybe go with your left. I want you to take 10 little reaches onto that leg. So we're going to exhale, extend. Toes are facing forward on that leg. And I just want you to feel your weight arrive there. If lifting your bottom toes all the way off of the floor is making your balance too wonky, then don't lift the whole leg. 2, and 1. We're just doing a little prep for Ardha Chandrasana. Good. Let's try that on the other side. So I'm going to exhale, pull weight there into my foot. So I exhale and extend. Remember, it's like a floating movement. Catch your weight as it lowers. Mientras bajando. Good. 3, and 2, and 1. Good. So now we're going to exhale and just take your feet wide side to side. So weight on one leg, weight on the other. You can hold the arms out, weight on one leg, weight on the other. Afuera, afuera, afuera. Eso. 2, and 1. Good. So let's get light there in the legs now. Arms reach back, thighs, or arms reach up, thighs reach back. Try that a couple of times. So you've grounded your weight. Good. Thighs are pulling back, arms floating out. Try this a couple more times. Beautiful. So now hold. Take a little dive forward into Padottanasana. Melt the top of your head. Feel that awakeness in the limbs, awakeness in the feet. Good. Let's inhale, pull up through a flat back. Exhale, I'm going to turn my right toes out. Maybe you go with your left if mirroring knees the easier thing. And then exhale, the knee bends, pull the opposite arm back. Good. And if you need to walk your foot out just a little bit more to make sure the deep knee bend is happening. Right over the heel. Good. So now pause here for a moment. Take that top arm over, stretch away from the leg. And then exhale, lengthen that knee as you come down over the leg. Good. And then the hips, instead of falling forward, you let them move in. Now the top hand to the hip. Good. So you can stay right here. Or if you'd like, just step your back foot in just a little bit. So again, you can stay right here. Or if you'd like to walk your hand out onto surface, onto the floor, exhale, lift your top leg up and really stretch out. So Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Give this a couple more breaths. Really trying to find length and strength in your supporting leg, in that standing leg. Now exhale, release, let it come down. Walk the foot back. Find yourself in a Trikonasana. Exhale, bring it all the way up. Turn the toes in And then let's try that on the other side. So now we'll turn the opposite toes out. And then the hips, right? Keep them right underneath you. You're going to bend. And I guess what I want with this arm is this sense is that you can pull your weight, pull your torso away from that bend so that your knee is just not taking more work than it needs to. Good. So now we're going to hold down here, top arm reaches away from you. Good. Now exhale, lengthen out. So you're going to now reach your hips away from your torso as the torso comes all the way down. You feel the shoulder moving above the knee in your Trikonasana. And then remember, we're going to avoid the hips coming really far back, but instead move your hips a little bit forward if you can as you're practicing Ardha Chandrasana here. Hand can move onto your back, onto your top hip. So stay right here. Again, just stay in this lovely Trikonasana if that's the pose that's working for you this morning. If you'd like now, so to get into Ardha Chandrasana, the back foot steps in, and you're gonna walk the front foot out. I'm sorry, this is a hand. Walk the front foot out. Now you can just stay here and get used to being in this position, or you can begin to lift the top leg all the way up as you work to find length in your hamstring. On both legs. Good. And then from here again, slowly reach that weight back with your front leg. And then you're going to push, 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 push from that front heel, coming through a Trikonasana, and then all the way back up into standing. Turn your toes in for a moment. Inhale, arms come out. Another flat back. Take your hands to your ankles, and let's just stretch. So move your elbows wide and allow your head to release, your neck to relax. And then from here, everybody, you can turn. I'm going towards my right toes. Fingertips here on the floor. And then you can walk those hands out. So bend the front knee as much as you would like. Again, keeping the knee right over the heel. And then exhale, lift the back leg up. So this leg could come just a couple of inches from the floor. You could lift higher, depending on what your hips are agreeing to. And then the top of your head could melt down. So this is just another variation of a standing balance. You could lift so if you've got your right foot down, you can lift the right arm up, stretch, reach it back. Good. Take the arm down, take the foot to the floor. Again, doesn't matter how high up you come. Exhale, stretch that weight back. If all you do is practice bringing your weight onto one leg with precision, with control, with yourself on these different planes, we're moving in the right direction. Okay, last little standing balance here we'll do. So again, check your weight before you lift. Make sure this foot is ready, the knee is ready. Bend the knee enough so the knee comes over the heel. And then exhale, lift the leg up. So again, leg could come an inch, go really slow, and then if it lifts to about that half height and it feels nice to externally rotate and lengthen the bottom thigh, you could walk your hands out. Find an expression of this pose that's going to feel good and therapeutic to you. Good. So now just slowly exhale, bring the leg in, close the hip. Good. And then from here, we're going to turn back, facing forward once again. Exhale, bring yourself to standing. Whew. All right, feet together. Let's get a little, gather ourselves real quick, and then we're going to come down to the floor. So take your blanket, put it in the middle of your mat. Good. And then from here, just find a comfortable way, make your way down. I'm gonna now set my knees here on the blanket, take my shin bones, tap them into the floor, hands here to your tailbone. Exhale, take a stretch, let your abdominal wall lengthen out. Good. And then exhale, allow that to release. Let the top of your head come down to the floor. And then feel that place where really the top of your head can touch. Bring your palms together and then reach your arms off of your back. Exhale, move the hips back and coming up. Good. All the way through that center position. Again, this time, let the arms come to your sides and you're going to flat back. So you're going to come back and hold yourself hinged from your abdominal wall. Good. Pause for a moment. Bring your left foot forward. So again, think about the heel being beyond your front knee, and then exhale, bend into it and let your hips stretch. Good. So in this pose here, you can keep your hands on your sacrum and then exhale, deepen your stretch here. Being mindful of your psoas. And then we're going to exhale, reach weight back, move the hips back, take your sternum forward. Good. Bring your fingertips first to the inside of your extended leg. Good. Again, focusing on intentional lengthening of the hamstring. Good. So now you're going to take your hands to the outside of that leg and then walk your foot across your body. So now create a little reach through your ribs in the opposite direction, bringing your weight slightly over your torso. So this should feel like a deep stretch for the outer hip. Good. So now your two hands are just going to straddle the leg once again. Let the foot move all the way to the outside of the mat, and then allow the knee to come down next to the opposite hand, and then you'll just make this a little pigeon pose. As you come over, the hip bone of the leg that's extended back is reaching towards the floor. If you need some more extra support for this hip, let that curl your blanket up. Prop only that the sitting bone of the bent leg, and then that will allow your hips to be a little more supported here. Good. Exhale, move your hands down or your elbows down. Now, if your back is rounded, aim to create a little more length. Good. And then from here, we're just going to exhale, move your two hands back underneath your shoulders. Curl your back toes underneath you. Exhale, lift the hips. Again, this could be an arm balance. Lift that back leg, come all the way over, back into a down dog for a moment. And now set the knees down on the floor. Good. Reach your two hips back, 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 coming up. Now the right foot comes forward. We'll try this sequence, esta secuencia de movimientos on the other side. So remember, you're going to make sure this heel moves out much further than your knee, and then you'll bend the knee and bring the knee over the heel. So again, just always putting knee health front and center. Good. Hands can be on your sacrum here. Let the sternum extend, come up if it likes to. And then exhale, push back with the heel And then let your hands first come to the inside of the leg as you allow this hamstring a deep stretch. So notice the hip is going to want to pull out to the side. Move the hip bone back. Good. So there's always this talk in yoga of compacting the hips. And as much as you can, keeping your sitting bones even. So instead of one sitting bone being up, that sitting bone pulling in and the hips pulling towards each other. Good. So now two hands on the outside of that leg. Good. So now if it feels comfortable, you can walk your hands around and really reach the opposite rib cage towards that thigh. Beautiful. So now bringing your hands back, straddling either side of this leg, take the toes, walk that foot now to the outside edge of the mat. Good. And then the knee will bend. When the knee bends, see if it can come and line up with the heel, just as we did when we were standing. And now notice when the hips are tight, the weight is going to shift all the way onto the side of the bent leg. So what you'll do is prop that hip up so that the hips can balance with more ease. And then the torso can reach and come forward. Good. So just making sure your pose is supported. Good. In a way that will make it feel functional and healthy to you. So now from here, make another little arch of your back for a moment. And then exhale, let's just move your hands, move yourself forward. Let the rib cage move out over the thigh. Giving this a few breaths. Intentional lengthening of that back leg. Good. And then from here, let's push with our hands. Bring ourselves back up. Now curl the back toes underneath you. Now lift the hips. Good. Bending that knee. Stretching back. And then I'm going to exhale. Come down onto my blanket again. Now my sits bones are on the blanket and my left side's facing. So let's do a little bit of navasanas, some boat poses, and we'll do some variations here. So arms up first. And then you're gonna exhale, keep reaching the arms out as you float back and just give this pose. You don't have to move, just give it 5 breaths. Just waking up your belly. Good. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Counter that with a little forward bend. Let your fingertips reach toward your heel or reach toward your toes. The spine melt. Good. Inhale. Take another breath. Coming up. This time, bring your palms to your heart. And then exhale, find a flat back. Holding back here. Take 5 breaths. So the weight here in your hands, making the belly muscles work a little bit more. Lengthen the spine, really a flat back pose. Good, let's exhale. Now open the hips as you come forward in a modified Supta Karmasana. So I've just rested my elbows here on my shin bones. Good, so now inhale coming up, extend the 2 arms, bring your palms together, and then lift your knees so that they come just beneath your wrists. Good. Hold this pose, couple breaths. And then as you feel ready, take your arms up. Give this pose just a couple breaths. Good. Once again, lower the feet, soles of the feet pull together. Knees move out, elbows can move down instead of the rib cage moving back. Move the rib cage forward. Breathe. Good. Exhale, bringing yourself back up once again. Roll the palms, let them face up. Good. And then you can exhale, pull in at the abdomen. Take your weight back. Lift your 2 feet so you're now soles of the feet are together. Good. And then from here, exhale, extend the 2 legs out. Extend the 2 arms. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees. Release. Bring yourself back through. One more little stretch here. Good. So now, hands to the big toes for a moment. And you're going to stretch and extend your right leg out and feel the leg in that deep external rotation. Good. Upper arm bone is pulling back. Good. So the spine is as vertical as you can make it. And then we're going to exhale, bring that leg right back in. Let's try it on the other side. Inhale and exhale, estirando, stretching all the way out. Good. And again, watch the concavity there in the thoracic spine. How much can you move it in? How much can you feel? How deeply can you feel the shoulders stay right above your ribs? Good. Exhale, release. Inhale, you can move that weight back just to feel a little stretch. And then exhale, come up. Now the 2 feet lift. And again, just stay here. This might be most interesting to you. Or if you like, try extending 2 legs, a little butt balance. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Exhale, release, allowing that to come down. Good. So take your hands for a moment, just underneath your shoulders. Push, push, push. Lift the knees over your heels. 5 breaths. Good. Now we'll set the hips right back down. And exhale, allow the forearms to float to the floor. Extend the 2 legs. 5 breaths. Good. Exhale, release. Push the feet to the floor. Lift the hips. Doesn't have to be as high. 5 breaths. Good. Now exhale, hips down, heels together, toes apart. Extend the legs. 5 breaths. Good. Slowly set the feet onto the floor. Take a breath. Inhale. Hands here underneath or elbows right under your shoulders. Now lift the tailbone up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. And now slowly just let your weight come all the way down to the floor. Good. So you're going to inhale, take your right leg up and get a nice stretch here as the left leg stays into the floor. Good. We're going to exhale, let that leg come down and switch sides. Hands here to the shin. Then the elbows move out. And then you're going to exhale, lift 2 legs up. Let the shin bones now move over your face or your thighs, move over the face, taking Supta Paschimottanasana. 5 breaths. Good. Now you'll slowly exhale, release. Allow that weight to come down, bending in your 2 knees.
Feet to the floor, hands to your sides. Exhale, lift the pelvis all the way up. So now heels right underneath your sits bones. Again, give this just a few breaths. Letting the elbows press down deep into the floor, hips rising up. And then you can bring your palms together underneath your shoulders. Again, another 5 breaths, just feeling the chest. Let's exhale, release, let that come down. Hands now move to the thighs, and then you can exhale, rock up to a seated position. So let's unfold your blanket, if you have a blanket. And we're gonna come down and work a little bit on rollover and control balance. So we're gonna inhale, and then once again, just bring the weight of the body back down to the floor, and take the 2 legs, excuse me, and lift them up. So hold here for a moment. Now your arms are gonna be down, and then you'll exhale, lift the pelvis, and find a little rollover. So in the rollover position, your arms would be here, or this is also Virasana plow pose. So you can stay here for a moment, or walk your shoulder blades a little bit more together and take your hands to the hips. Let's lift the legs and find Sarvangasana. Again, only if this feels nice and comfortable. Your weight should be moving back into the elbows, into the upper arm bones, so there's no weight on your neck. So this is Viparita Karani, and a good pose to practice to get you used to shoulder stand. This is not quite a shoulder stand. Good, we're gonna exhale, fold the legs right back over, extend the arms right back out. Now lower the pelvis, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the legs come to the floor, press the elbows in, and come up on the top of your head. And this is just a counter, so you want to feel your neck lengthen out, your throat lengthen out. You could extend your 2 legs if you wanted here, just to feel your core engaged. But it's just to counter that work we were doing. All right, so now exhale, let your head come down for a moment. We're gonna come back up. This time your arms move over your ears. So the arms are alongside the ears, and then the legs will come up. You'll lift the 2 legs. So just stay here. Or if you'd like, exhale, try to take your feet to your hands. Now, if this feels okay, doesn't matter how high, practice lifting the leg. Just a couple of breaths. And then you can exhale, allow that leg to release. Try now lifting the other leg, not so high that it knocks your pelvis off balance, but just lifting a little bit. Good. From there, once again, slowly lower the bones of the pelvis right back down to the floor. Arms to the sides, elbows press in, come to the top of the head, lift and arch the rest of your back up. Just give this 5 breaths. This time you can take your bottom lip over your top lip. And then we'll exhale and slowly allow that weight to release. Good. So now take the legs up, cross your right leg over the left. Now, if you just cross at the thighs, that's great. If you can hook the foot all the way around, crossing to the other side, and then take opposite arm. So this is my left arm over my right. Good. So I just pulled myself into Guru Dasana, like you would be if you were standing. Everybody just hold this pose for a little bit. Good. And then if you like, you can pull the elbows to the knees. Give that as a little engagement of your core. And then the feet come to the floor, and you're just going to open the arms as you let the legs twist to one side. Your gaze moving in the opposite direction. And then we're going to take your hips, move them to the other side, and your gaze over one hand. And then again, just create a little twist here. So you may feel this stretches the hips just ever so slightly differently. Good. Inhale, move your knees right back to the center. Exhale, lift the legs, unfold, and now try it the other way. So first just cross the thighs, and then if the opposite shin bone can wrap all the way around, give that a go. The arms come up. Now the right arm crosses in front of the left. Reach your fingertips together. Try to just hold the knees over the hips, elbows over your chest, and then stretch out your foot like you would do if you were doing this pose standing. Good. Now we're going to exhale. Bring that foot down, or bring your, oh, don't do that just yet. Bring your knees to the elbows and make this just a little engagement of your core. And then exhale, release, bring that foot down, open the arms out, and then stretch your hips to one side. Inhale as you pass through your center. Stretch your hips in the opposite direction. And then you're going to exhale, unfold the two legs. Take a moment if there's anything you want to do, if there's anything you haven't stretched, any connection you want to make. Just take a second to do that. And then from here, let's go ahead and lengthen your two legs out. And let the palms come right over your abdomen. And take some big breaths. Now bring your palms just over your eyes. Then rest here for a moment. Take another 5 breaths. Now take a second and rub your temples. And rub behind your ears, behind the jaw. Open the arms now. Give yourself just a few breaths with your whole body, all the bones released into the floor. Then slowly, when you feel ready, just begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and circle the ankles, circle the wrists. Draw your knees up over your chest, rock your back side to side, front to back. Then we're going to roll to one side. Use the strength in our arms, press up into seated position. Bring the palms together, bow the head, close the eyes. Your practice is a gift, everyone. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, dear.